Every one of my records means something. The label, the producer, the year it was made.
Make sure you have the record player on at night.
Bad luck streak and dance in school, down on my knees in pain. Bad luck streak and dance in school.
So we can jump right into it. This is a little bonus episode. We didn't do a podcast or anything about this. We just listened to, because it was a new record that we wanted to cover. Sa-Roc had a new record.
Yeah, the Sharecropper's daughter.
So yeah, talk about that a little bit, because you were like anticipating getting this record and everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, the minute I heard it was coming out, I pre-ordered it. So I guess a little bit about the artist first, since I guess we don't have any background. The first time I heard SaRoc was actually at a Brother Ali concert. I saw her live. I went down to the grog shop and I saw Brother Ali perform, and SaRoc was there performing. And man, when I tell you, she just exuded this strength and confidence, and most of all, just skill. You know, that ability. I really, it was cool because like I had just seen Brother Ali, or I guess he introduced her. I think she was on first actually, but I just noticed that the way both her and Brother Ali were able to move the crowd, and I can't remember.
No, wait, real quick. I'm sorry if you said this. When was this?
This was years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. Okay. I think it was for his release of. It might have been I think it was just a tour, and I think it was just a tour. It might have been off Morning in America and Dreaming in Color, something like that. But yeah, I that concert, I picked up a few of her albums, which admittedly I like, sadly, I didn't get to, but since we've been doing this vinyl thing, and I seen it was coming out in vinyl, I was like, wow, I have to get this album, and I have to give it a listen. And you know, when I got it, I was so excited, and I wasn't disappointed, because her lyricism is just amazing. I would liken her lyricism in many ways to Aesop Rock. Very different delivery, very different subject matter. Aesop Rock's a lot more personal. But Aesop Rock is known, he's called Aesop Rock because he pulls from, fables, and has references to a lot of fables. And what I was really impressed with in the Sharecropper's daughter specifically is SaRoc's ability to pull from historical figures, prominent black leaders and historical figures, and kind of use their name in lyrically clever ways. Replace the last name of this significant person. Replace their name, and make it into a line in one of her verses. And just it works so well with her narrative of telling about her life and her experience as a black woman in America. So, what did you guys think?
Well, so first of all, this record just came out. Like, you got it. We listened to it last week. That was the day it was released. We listened to it the day after, but you got it the same day. And you said that when you saw her at a show, you bought some records of hers, but this was her first record on the Rhymesayers label. Was that?
I think so. Yeah.
I feel like they were making that distinction. So like, I don't know if that's just a little bit like where her previous records, like, now you said you didn't get to them. Mm-hmm. Like, you just haven't listened to them?
Yeah, I have not. I've listened to them, like, a few tracks, but I have not.
Okay.
Like, they're not in my, in my memory, per se. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, Joe, we're at the disadvantage of, not watching highlights or anything from it, but we just listened to it a week ago. So what were your impressions at the time?
I mean, it was good. I mean, I could definitely tell her prowess, her lyrical abilities throughout the album. It reminded me, like, I think I said this to Jake. It reminded me if Jay Electronica and like Erykah Badu or someone had a baby, it would be like subject matter, the way she like rhymes, and like the way she like her. What's the word I'm looking for?
Her flow,
her cadence. Yeah, it reminded me of like the Fugees or something like that, with the J Electronica subject matter that sometimes goes over your head because it's literally stuff that you have to research.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't learn this stuff in school.
Yep.
And yeah, if you're like, I can imagine her fans are just like super into her because they really dig. You really got to dig in deep. You can't just be you can't be like a casual SaRoc fan.
Right.
You have to be deep into it.
Yeah, this is an excellent example of having to go through it multiple times. At least for me, I could listen to this 10 times and like read the lyrics and pick up something new like lyrically every time. Like, oh, I didn't realize that was a reference to whatever. You know what I mean?
And that is the more discreet kind of prowess. You know what I mean? Kind of sneaks up on you. There's other ones that turn for me just like punch you right in your face. There's the one song called I think it's called Forever. You know, you better shine on, baby, that, and she kind of flips into that. She flips from that slow, sweet bass line to like that hardcore, like, and all of a sudden the lyrics start coming like, my flow is something like raw as Genghis Khan, my range astonished, like.
My mood is savage, that's Genghis Khan's boss moves and mountains, my range astonishing, dangerous, sinus like rain and comets, they blazing, trails through planets all held is kind of amazing.
And she like just puts a string of like 6 lines together, each one like relating to the last, like, but the flow is dude, and she's just hitting you, and even then you can miss it. Other ones aren't like so discreet and still will punch you in the face, like you know, I'm probably butchering the lyrics here. I don't remember them like off the top. But I don't remember the song, but there's one line in particular because I had to listen to it through. You know, I've only listened to it through twice.
And even if you know it, even if you know what song it is, like just with hip hop though, it's so dense.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so much to scroll through. But like, there's one that's like something about coming after you guys and got liquid I'm snapping at your heels with like liquid gold dripping from my mandibles, just like.
Mega maggot shell shit right up on your pulpit, spitting oceans with liquid gold dripping from the mandibles.
Really powerful imagery, like she's this beast, but like, you know, there's this like holiness to her kind of thing, like just fucking amazing.
So I didn't get a chance to like actually look at the lyrics and go back through it again, but I did listen to this a lot. I did listen to this record a lot this week. Rockwell's America, it's a great song. Who's featured in that one? Is that Black Thought?
No, that one's the Black Renaissance.
Oh, okay.
Styles P is in this one.
So this is at the end. It's we got to be strong for these black kids. We got like there's kind of a repeating lyric. Around that.
I'm willing to die for these black kids. Are you willing to die for these black kids? We gotta survive for these black kids. We gotta be wise for these black kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that whole beginning part about Rockwell. Norman Rockwell's the famous painter. You know, he would paint these scenes of like the family sitting around the dinner table, and basically she's coming from the point of view, okay, well, this is how I see Rockwell's America.
Right.
You know, it's like it's not all roses. You know who
she reminds me of, and this is a very strange comparison, but I don't think it's invalid. Her metaphor game is a lot of metaphors, and she's like Lil Wayne in that caliber. Lil Wayne does that. You know, gives a line and says like this. I bet you can look in this. You know, what she say? I think it might have been in Rockwell's like the beginning of this song. She says, "We call it fertile lies." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those little, you know, add a little, you know, sprinkle a little something on top of, you know, the verse she just spit. I think she puts those right where they're needed. And does a really fucking good job.
Yeah, well, that's the line that probably jumps out at me. Government feeding us bullshit instead of truth, giving birth to a dishonest nation. We call it fertile lies.
Yeah.
Government feeding us bullshit instead of truth, giving birth to a dishonest nation. We call it fertilized.
Yeah.
Nice little thing there. So yeah, this song, this track really stood out to me, and then the next one, Something Real. I love Something Real. The opening, I'm not your typical rap chick. I'm pick of the litter, type to pick up a mic and become mythical figure.
You're like, she's just she's stunting on you right there at the beginning. She's telling you what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? And I like that. I like, especially in like, of course, I don't like to bring up, the female MC thing, because really there shouldn't be a distinction. But she stands out because that's not her. She doesn't use that as a crutch. She describes her experience, but like, being a woman's got nothing to do with it. Like, she's saying, I'm a mythical figure. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, we're going toe to toe. And she can do it.
Well, a couple lines down, she says, "This isn't a litany about titties or sexual proclivities. I'm more widely known from a hippocampus than hips and thighs."
See?
I'm not your typical rap chick, I'm pick of the litter. The kind that pick up a mic and become mythical figure. My spitter flood every station with a flick of the spigot. Then I turn my back on the nation with a sickening pivot. This isn't a litany about titties or sexual proclivities. I'm more widely known for my hippocampus and hips and thighs.
Oh my God, that line. God, she's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. When my blues hits the canvas, another Gibson cries.
Yeah.
It's just really, really good. And you just gotta, I mean, that was a whole 6 lines of just top notch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I forget what song it was in, but the other thing we talked about last week, the one lyric was, I'm just saying that I'm worth it. That's the responsible thing.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what the whole lyric is.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I'm perfect. That's an impossible dream. I'm just saying that I'm worth it. That's the responsible thing.
Never claim to be perfect. That's an impossible dream. I'm just saying that I'm worth it. That's the responsible thing.
I think that's a very simple message, but I kind of was likened it to, like, in today's, like, the younger generation, I don't know, is at odds with the older generation, like, touchdown dances, celebrations and stuff, like that. Like, it's being, I don't know, it's being proud of who you are. Like, I think, like, the thing I said last week was, like, I think humility a lot of times, like, went too far and you're, like, diminishing yourself.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
And there's a lot of I think Royce da 5'9" has a song called Humility, and he has that same message. Like, being humble's, it only gets you so far. There's a place for that, and there's a place for pride,
right?
And, and being proud of who you are, and it's an important message.
I liked in that context. I liked her saying it's not only it's the responsible thing to be proud of who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that idea.
It's not just like, it's not even that it's necessary. It's fucking responsible. Like, it's the right thing to do. Yeah, for sure. That's such an important message. I just think people in general need to. I mean, black people, for one, that's who she's speaking to. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But that's the other thing. Like, that when people have have love for their own people, and you can see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's in those messages when they deliver them. They're applicable to anyone, even if she's directing it. At her people. Anyone who looks at this, you can gain a lot from looking at this. And that's what I said about, like, Brother Ali too. It's like, it helps you give a type of perspective that helps you understand people. And I think that's why these kind of records are, like, so important to listen to.
Yeah. Yep. That's why they're powerful. There ends up being a universality, I guess, to the message that applies to all people.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's one other song. I mean, you guys can jump in with whatever you got. There was one other song that I really liked. Like, this was rangy, man. I liked the I always liked the production on. I guess we'll just give credit to Rhymesayers as a label. But I feel like with that Brother Ali record, It's Only Us. That was Ant produced that one. Mm-hmm. Love his production. But this was
Soul Messiah.
So this was different, but it was still really good. And there was
it's that cutting. It's the cutting that's not in hip hop anymore. The sampling old songs, old classics.
Is that what
I miss it?
It's Pro Tools is, well, not anymore. I'm sure there's a new thing, but it's all the synthetic 808 bass lines, and no one's taken those cuts. No one's you go into Ant's basement, and I'm sure Soul Messiah has the same collection. All these people who, like, really do this.
They were crate diggers.
Yeah. And you go, and their entire basement is walls of classic records.
And they're at the record store every week, maybe twice, 3 times a week, depending how,
And the other thing is, too, I'm just going to give a shout out, shout out hip hop culture, shout out the DJs, right? Because it's such an underappreciated art.
Yeah,
we hear that and we're like, oh, that's so cool. You don't understand the work and the ear
Yeah.
And the ability to hear something that's in a different key, something in a happy-go-lucky song, and to be able to cut that out and put it in a song that's an entirely different key, and it still works. I had the privilege of going to see Royce da 5'9" live at the Grog Shop with DJ Premier.
That's
20 feet away from DJ Premier.
That's insane.
And DJ Premier did a little DJ show. He said, Royce is like, I'm going to leave it to my man here, Primo, enjoy. And Primo's like doing his scratching or whatever, his cutting. And he actually had the vinyls where he took samples for like classic Gangstar songs. And it's like, he starts it's like, and he like speeds it up. It's like, dip, 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 and all of a sudden it turns into like Mass Appeal, and you're just like, oh my god, like how did he fucking do that? That was a concert when I really had like gained respect for that like that art form, because it's such hard work. It takes a lot of dedication. So shout out Soul Messiah, did a great job.
It was nice to see during the whole like quarantine, like when everyone was in the thick of things, like those Instagram live videos got big.
Oh yeah, she did one.
And what really got big was the DJs. The DJs would put on full shows for people on Instagram Live, like and I think it really it's just like an art. Like you see like their whole setup and everything. Like it's just. Yeah, like you said, it's an underrated art form that we're losing to these more computer-based. The music that's put out today is more just scientific, computer. You push this button, push that button, instead of actually doing the work, going to the record store, finding the classic jazz albums or the classic albums, and then having the idea I could use this sample and this song with these lyrics, and it would all make sense.
It has to be so much fun. I would imagine that being a really fun process of putting a record together.
Yeah, like imagine finding the one. Like you just buy a bunch of shit and you're looking for one, and like maybe there's an unfinished song, because that happens a lot. Especially in hip hop, a lot of artists, they release songs they made 5-6 years ago.
Sure.
And you have to wonder how much of that is due to production. You know what I mean? Like as a a traditional hip hop DJ, DJ. Maybe they found that one sample that has a word in it that matches with that song. Like Brother Ali wrote the song "A Sensitive." It's a single he released, and I forget who he sampled, but it's like I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit, and that's what he sampled, and the song's called "Sensitive." And he goes, "I'm sensitive about my shit." You know what I mean? How many times, it's not always that the song can be based off the sample. You're going to have to find a sample that matches, the subject matter of the song you're creating. So, like I said, it's just like you said, it's probably really fun. There's probably so many, I imagine it has so many eureka moments. Like, I fucking found it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can always relate this to the me of not that long ago that, just didn't like hip-hop at all or didn't see the level of artistry that we're talking about as far as production or even the poetry of the lyrics and everything. The level of artistry in this genre is just as high, if not higher, than any other.
Yeah, it takes just as much creative ability than a great rock song or a great jazz song or whatever.
Anything.
It's art, and I hate the people that they put rap down like it's not like my uncle, like for example, he's just doesn't think it's
like they're brain. It's like they got a stone wall in front of their ability to take it in.
But I'm like, well, don't you see? Like, he just doesn't see it. I'm like, okay,
right.
And then you just kind of got to leave him like okay, fine.
Just to get back to the record real quick, the song Revolution. This was really good, man. This was just catchy. The chorus.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you might have heard.
Nowhere, but up. Yeah, good. It was well done. And the bass line.
Got the streets on notice. What up?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what you might have heard, but we ain't going nowhere. But up. Got a whole squad dressed in all black. Got the streets on notice. What up? They want us in the same place. Ain't nobody ever gonna really change nothing but us. Hello, this is Revolution. Get on up.
She did really well in this song.
Us. Like, yeah, just a good flow to the whole.
And another thing, she can sing her ass off.
Yeah.
She sang when she played live. Like, she did all those choruses, forever. She was singing.
Mm-hmm. There was a part on here. It might have been a feature, but I don't know. There was
I think it was her harmonizing with the feature person.
And I was like, wow, this, that's, yeah. So that again, I was talking about range with production, but that's also a range because she's got like to the point where she doesn't sound like a guy, but like when I first heard her, I thought it was like I don't know, I thought it was a guy, but like
with a feminine voice or something.
Exactly. A guy with a feminine voice. She's like walking a line in there, So
I think that's cool though, because I think we need more of that. You know what I mean?
But to do that and then have a beautiful singing voice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that I don't know the word dichotomy.
Yeah,
is interesting.
Right.
Because just as we said, like being the female thing's not a crutch. It just goes to show she's not overcompensating for anything by trying to be masculine. It just then she'll sing beautifully. It just goes to show how comfortable she is, with herself. Does the song forever on this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's just really talented.
I think this one, I'd be all for this, like, actually getting its own full episode to where we can go through it, because I think you need to probably go through it again. I mean, because there's an like the concept and all that, like how everything ties together, is another interesting aspect of this that I couldn't really quite get into, but just the sound of it and everything is terrific. Mm-hmm. So.
Hell yeah.
So so for now that was Sa-Roc's The Sharecropper's Daughter, which came out just like a week ago.
A couple days ago.
So
a lot of good shit coming out from Rhymesayers. Atmosphere just announced a new album day before Halloween. Listen to their single.
Ooh. Wait, he's going to release it the day before Halloween?
And it's called The Day Before Halloween.
Oh, shit.
So, and it's pretty badass. So, he's getting back to a more classic style, too, in that. So, I'm very impressed with the single. Hopefully the rest of the album is like that, but shouts out Sa-Roc, shouts out Rhymesayers.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that as well.
All right. Signing off.
You better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart. Don't let up, cause you're so damn fine just the way you better shine on them, baby, you a star. You better be exactly who you are forever. Cause they gon' try and change your heart.
How about that, Record Night Podcast?